Can you hear me now? Thank you, End King. Yeah, so hello and welcome everybody. I see Potema, the Undying. I see the End King. I see Gale Olm. Welcome. Glad to see you guys. So yeah, I was going back and forth between Skyrim and Starfield, and I was doing some things with the Stiger earlier this week, and still chipping away at the Scorpion build guide. But the whole time I was just wishing I was playing Starfield, you know. So I'm gonna follow my bliss. Today we're gonna be focused on a few goals. We're not gonna be doing any like quest lines or anything like that because I want to avoid spoilers. The game is still really new, and it's taken people a long time to get through it. I still have not completed the main quest. I'm not even sure I'm halfway through it. There's just so much to do in this game. So I think what we're going to be focused on today is just exploration. We're going to be, cataloging a lot of planets, checking out some of the Radiant procedurally generated encounters and things like that on different planets. In my experience, there's plenty to do. There's a lot of running around scanning stuff, but then there's also, just like outposts and lab ruins and stuff, and there's like pirates and spacers and stuff to fight along the way. So here we are in the lab. There was just a couple of weapon mods that I wanted to do. Right now I have a few different crafting skills that I'm trying to rank up. We have special projects, which needs rare manufactured components, weapon engineerings, for which I need another 12 weapon mods, and then research methods, I only need one more weapon mod to get that. Everything else is done there. Another thing that I've realized is in this game, 155 hours in and not done the main quest, or even close. Yeah, I'm not going to do that on stream. I feel like there's going to be some spoilers there, especially around like the new game plus. I'm really looking forward to getting into that stuff, but I'm taking my time with this first playthrough. Welcome, Magus, by the way. Glad to see you. One thing I've realized in this, though, like, okay, so I'm playing the Cyberneticist, which, if you're taking this literally, cybernetics is like the science and the tech of combining electronics and mechanical engineering with like organics, right? So basically you're trying to turn yourself into a cyborg. I found that in this game there are very limited ways of actually doing that, so it's going to be more like an Oblivion class type thing with, I want to say something like the Bard, where there's no way to actually be a Bard in Oblivion, so they kind of just fudge it with the different skills and spells and stuff that they allow you to do. So like heavy doses of illusion for things like influencing people on the battlefield and things like that, and then speechcraft and stuff like that for just creating the illusion that you're a bard without actually being able to do anything as a bard. I think it's the same way with the Cyberneticist in this. There's not a whole lot of actual cybernetics that you get in this game. There's only like 2 that I'm thinking of, that being the Neuralinks that you can get from certain vendors that help things with the internal Neuralinks that you have, which I'm not going to spoil anything, but in the story-wise, but in the Ryujin Industries quest line, you get access to a kind of like illusion magic, and that stuff is built into your brain. It's completely internal. I do highly recommend doing that quest line, if not just for the rewards that you get for it. And it's a pretty good quest line too. It'd be cool if you could get robot eyes. I'm hoping a lot of stuff sounds kind of like Cyberpunk. Yes, exactly. So there's some ways that we can fudge that. So like the scanner is a lot like the optics stuff in Cyberpunk, and King mentioned, or no, Gale Ohm mentioned that. Like the Kiyoshi optical implants that you get allow you to, hack things from a distance and stuff like that. This is a lot like what the surveying scanner does. So I've leaned heavily into upgrading this scanner. And there's a lot you can do with the scanner that is gameplay related and not just scanning planets and things like that. So I've also been leaning heavily into crafting because we are an engineer of both electronics and biology as a cyberneticist, right? And I do want to continue further into like spacesuit design for armor to kind of fudge that that illusion of cybernetics being installed. Just, you know, having you can't really implant armor into your skin or anything like you can in Cyberpunk, but at least we can engineer our spacesuit to maybe interface with our body a little more in some creative ways. And the same with the boost pack. It's an external tool that we're using, but we can kind of fudge our illusion of it. Sort of like having some kind of booster installed in our body, right? That would be more of a cybernetic implant than it is just a tool that you wear on your back, right? I would also like to get down here to boost assault training. This is kind of a big thing for me. But I need to spend 2 more points here in the tech tree, which I will very quickly. But this is cool because it allows you to kind of like hover while you're aiming in the air. And so you can just kind of like chill out up in the air as kind of like a makeshift like sniper roost or something. And the more ranks that you take in this, the longer you get to kind of stay up there, right? So this is going to be a priority for me at some point soon. But, and this is what I was getting to here, I have made a realization in this game that space combat is kind of like dragons in Skyrim. It may not be like the main entree of what you're trying to do in Starfield, depending on what your build is. Like my build is all about the Cyberneticist. It's combining technology with biology and turning myself into a cyborg, like Cyberpunk, right? But it forces you into space combat, and if you're not spec'd for it, you're just gonna get destroyed over and over again. I don't think I've died once in regular player combat. I've died at least a dozen times in space combat because I'm just not spec'd for it. So I think that is going to be kind of a priority, because there are moments in a lot of different quest lines where it forces you into space combat. And in some ways you can spec out of it by just specking into your grav drive, and you can make a quick like hyperdrive escape like Han Solo does with the Millennium Falcon, and try to avoid actual prolonged dogfights in space. But if you're following a quest line, sometimes you just have to destroy enemy ships, or at least incapacitate them. So that's kind of what I'm doing today as well. I'm going to be putting some ranks into some of these piloting skills just to get a little more survivability and prowess in space. I died on Jemison when I was exploring. Oh, nice. By robot eyes, I mean your character's eyes glowing in the dark. Yes, and I was going to address that, N King, but I got sidetracked. So yeah, I'm hoping that the modding community steps in on this and adds a lot more sort of superficial aesthetic type items. I really want glasses for my character. I'm a glasses guy in real life. I have contacts that I can wear. I have the option of doing LASIK, but I kind of like the way I look in glasses, to be honest with you. And for there not to be any kind of like the only thing we got is this like Neuralink here that looks pretty cool, but it's very minimal, right? Robot eyes, things like glasses, maybe some kind of like Saiyan power scanner, you know, and then also the cybernetic like arms and legs and things like that would just be awesome. And I feel like that's stuff that's fairly easily doable through modding and stuff like that once we get the creation kit. You'll definitely want an up-class ship as well. Even the one I have now is still A-class. Yeah, so that's what I really am looking forward to shipbuilding. It's not something I've gotten into a lot right now. But I have a couple plans, right? So for like just one-on-one, or not one-on-one, but just like having like an agile like combat spacecraft, I want to model it after the Vic Viper from Gradius and Life Force, the Konami shoot 'em ups, and they have kind of like the two, actually kind of like this rifle here. The ship itself is kind of white. Actually, let's go ahead and take a look at that. Yeah, so it has like these two. Actually, this looks like a pretty good representation of it here. So yeah, it has like the two sort of long forward wings, and the cockpit is kind of set back, and it's really meant to just house one person. And then we have the wings in the back, and then the tail fin. I want to see if I can recreate this in shipbuilding. This is going to be kind of like my fighter. But then also I would like to, since I am a cyberneticist and heavily leaning into crafting, I would like to build some kind of like mobile lab that has like all the essentials, like the research station here, the weapon workbench, the spacesuit workbench, the industrial workbench, and the pharmaceutical stuff. The cooking I haven't really leaned into. There's some good stuff in here. It's kind of fun, but I think it's more of a flavor stuff. If you can lean into the pharmaceutical side of things, it's going to be more effective. Kind of like cooking versus alchemy in Skyrim, I would say. Or cooking versus like chem crafting in Fallout 4. Oh, it's pretty close? Cool. Yeah, no, there's still a lot that I haven't seen, and I appreciate the non-spoilers in the chat too. If you guys can avoid them, that would be great. I'm trying to do the same for anybody else who doesn't know stuff. So yeah, is that everything that I want to do? Yeah. So today I'm going to be doing a lot of mission board stuff. We've got the constellation mission boards that we can do for more of the exploration side of things, and then also like pirate bounties and stuff for the UC. And I'm not going to spoil the SysDef story or anything. That's why I'm saying it's spoiler free-ish, because the nature of this game, there's a lot of different Radiant quests, and some of them trigger based on how you've completed certain quest lines, right? So there might be things just based on the state of my game. I'm not going to talk about them. I'm not going to spoil any story points or anything for you, but there might be some things floating around in the game that you see that you might consider a spoiler, but there's nothing going to be explicit or overt saying, oh yeah, this happened in this quest line, right? Hey, Grumpy Kitty, welcome. That's an old familiar name there that I don't think we've seen around in a while, so welcome back. I think you were following along with the crew for the Couch Warrior stuff, right? I think that's where I recognize your name. Hope you're doing well. Okay, and there was actually also a question I think we had in the chat by Apotema, the Undying. Let's see here. Yeah, what weapon specialist you specking into? I'm thinking energy weapons. Yes, indeed. So part of the Cyberneticist background is that you automatically get spec'd into lasers here. Now that's more of just a suggestion than it is like a hard path or anything, because it's just the first rank, right? You can go ballistics, which for a cyberneticist you kind of got to go energy weapons, right? But for general purposes, I would highly recommend taking ballistics. There are two different laser weapons that you get. Three different laser weapons that you get. There's a pistol, and there's two different rifles, and that's about it. And then you start getting into the EM disruptors and things like that, but I think that those are spec'd separately. I could be wrong on that one. Yeah, particle beams we could go with, but you're going to get a lot more satisfaction and a lot more options out of the ballistics than you are out of laser weapons right now. Yes, from CW, life has been complicated, not spend as much time on social media, but I pop in now and then. Awesome. Yeah, I thought I recognized you. Well, welcome. Let's see. Yeah, I got a name for, or I got a brain for names. I don't got a brain for talking all the time. It makes my words up a lot. Not a name for brains, a brain for names. Okay, so yeah, that's it. I think I have resources for, I might do like just one small crafting loop. I had that video out, the crafting guide about just how to do the little resource gathering loop in New Atlantis here. Didn't get a lot of views, and it wasn't YouTube's fault. Just for whatever reason, the click-through rate on that was abysmal. But I thought there was some good information in there just for people who were just looking to get started with crafting, and people who think that they have to hoard resources like they did in Fallout 4. It's like you don't have to gather all the tape and you don't have to mine all the ore like you do in Skyrim. It's all plentifully available here in New Atlantis, very cheaply obtained. It doesn't cause a lot of encumbrance, so you don't have to spec into weightlifting to raise your encumbrance. You don't have to do any of that. It's all just locally available here. A couple loading screens and you're done. All right, so I think on muzzle mod maybe. Okay, so right now I just need to get a few weapons mods done to reach the next rank of, I think, research methods. Maybe just one or two, so I'm just gonna take what is the cheapest resource-wise, which probably is the compensator at this point. Tungsten, maybe. Muzzle brake, suppressor is the most valuable one to sell. Well, not even. This one seems like the cheapest one. We just need some nickel and some aluminum, and I think I have that available right here in my crate. Oh no, I don't have any nickel. All right, we need to go find some nickel. So this is the route that I usually do. Is like from the lodge here where you have access to all the different crafting tables. I'll go right to the spaceport, the launch pad here. Right here, you're gonna have quick access to both Jemison Mercantile, and right next door we have access to the well, where you can find a bunch of different vendors down there. And then from there, you can fast travel to the commercial district and hit
You will be scanned as you enter the city.
UC distribution center. And that usually takes care of everything I need resource management wise. Yeah, you can see that booster is doing a lot of work after ranking up the skill. And this is still just a basic
If it belongs on your ship, then I'm
boost
sure
pack.
we
I
have it
haven't
for sale.
unlocked the crafting skills to be able to
please, take a
convert it
look.
yet. I have encountered some other packs, skip packs and balanced packs or whatever. I've encountered some of them, but they're not as like good specs wise as far as like defense and different legendary effects. All that. The well is a lot of fun. I'm not a huge fan of New Atlantis after seeing a bunch of other cities in the game, and feels kind of drab. Yeah, well, it's kind of vanilla, right? This is supposed to be like the mainstream. This is like our vision of what the future should be. It is kind of boring. It's impressive when you first see it. It's cool because there's a lot of layers. It's huge to explore, like maybe the first few times, and then after that, it's like, all right, these are just fast travel markers. These are just merchants that I'm going to or whatever. But yeah, the well is really cool. It has a very cool aesthetic. It's got a lot more character that maybe New Atlantis doesn't have on its own. So yeah, I'm with you there. It's serviceable at least. I thought I had more nickel. There we go. Just buy a whole bunch of it because I might need it later. I
Thanks
can
for shopping
store
at
it right
Jemison
there in the
Mercantile.
lab. Back to the lodge. Highly recommend having a fast SSD. The faster you can get through these load screens, the better. SSD is a hard requirement now too for the game. It's going to be almost unplayable without it, according to
While we're here, perhaps we should check in with Matteo
reports
or
I've
Noel.
seen. Oh, that's not what I wanted. I was trying to get out of this one here. Aluminum, I believe I needed. There we go. I got both the nickel and the aluminum now. did I hit my rank here? I thought I did. Let's see. I thought that was research methods up here. Yeah. There we go, 15 out of 15, and now rank 4 is available. Now, anybody else who is leaning into crafting, you know you have to have the research methods in order to unlock crafting recipes. And once you have the recipes, then you can actually craft more mods for different things, different chems at the pharmaceutical station and all that. Now, a lot of the recipes are unlocked through these skill-specific things like weapons engineering. It unlocks certain like master-level weapon mods and stuff like that, but you're not going to unlock all of the different recipes until you get special projects down here. And this is kind of a top rank skill that you have to spend a lot of points in the skill tree in order to get to this thing, but this is what you need to unlock a lot of the different recipes. It's not all just research methods and the different weapon and spacesuit crafting skills. You need this down here too to get the best stuff. Little tip there. I don't play games where I shoot guns or do space combat, so it's not really my type of game, but I like the graphics and the NPCs and the quests. Yeah, the writing, if you're just playing it for the story, just, you know, even if you're not into the combat and stuff like that, I would suggest even just setting the game all the way down to the lowest difficulty for that, and then you can just focus on the story and exploration, and it's going to be very hard to die at that point. It'll relieve some of the tension and stuff, and while you may not enjoy the combat, at least you can get through it quickly enough, because I think that the story and the exploration and things like the shipbuilding and outpost management and stuff are worth it, even if you're not into just the pew-pew stuff. And you can also play a melee style build where it's swords and, you know, space magic. And there is, like I mentioned, you do get to access sort of like illusion magic through some quest lines. And it seems like I can't do that to non-hostile folks. Oh yeah, so I can actually manipulate this guy. Let's do a quick save here. I can actually manipulate this guy to do different things, right? Like I can... It's basically like having a follower at this point. And you could do this in combat. Now, this is locked behind quest lines and stuff. But yeah, you can avoid combat doing stuff like this as well. In fact, I think that's something I need to lean into a little heavier here. I thought there was one, yeah, diplomacy here too. You can actually, this is like the calm spell in Skyrim. Once you get the internal neurolinks installed in your brain, implanted through the Ryujin quest line, which the quest line isn't for everybody either. If you're a do-gooder, that might be hard to go through, but the rewards you get are very worth it. Once you unlock this, you actually have the opportunity to stop people. It's not certain. Stop people from fighting you.
I do not get paid enough to deal with stuff like that.
Like what? Okay, so how's my encumbrance looking here? 96 out of 135. I think that's pretty good. Let's see. How is Sarah's inventory here?
My day just got a whole lot brighter.
Yeah, so I married Sarah. You know, my character was just looking for some cuddle time, and then all of a sudden she's planning a ceremony out of nowhere. I feel like I kind of got gaslit into marrying her.
Want to see what I'm carrying?
And she's kind of a psychopath as far as combat goes. She's very, very gung-ho about about combat. So if you are on an infiltration mission or a sneaky diplomatic mission or something like that, don't bring her along. Have her wait in the ship or something, because she is going to go all out with the guns. She's an odd character. There are way better females later on. Yeah, so I've also encountered Andreja, and I don't know, it's completely subjective, but I think she's cuter than Sarah. I role-played a lot in order to get to where I am with Sarah right now. So the roleplay sort of story that I did here was I was put in a lot of compromising and vulnerable situations in the Ryujin quest line. So, long story short, avoiding spoilers, my character as a cyberneticist joined Ryujin Industries because he wanted access to, what are we doing here? Oh yeah, doing a bounty, nice. He wanted access to the technological research. He wanted to be on the engineering team. For Ryujin, researching the cutting edge of all kinds of different tech. They found out that he was good in a fight and used his talents for different things, and he really did not like that, but he felt strong-armed into doing it. So at the end of it all, he was feeling in a very vulnerable place, and then other things happened in the main quest where Sarah is also in the same sort of headspace where she's feeling vulnerable and having done things that she wasn't proud of, but having been forced to make tough decisions and things like that. And so she was really overcome with guilt and just not feeling great about herself, about her position in the world. So we kind of bonded over that. And, you know, things progressed from there. We got closer and closer. And I also started with the introvert trait because I didn't really plan on having followers with me for my first playthrough. And I'm also extremely introverted in real life as well. But much like real life for me, my wife helped like cure that introversion a little bit. So I was able to in-game get through this this introversion that crippled him in a lot of ways, not being able to experience you know, just the benefits, like the actual material benefits of not being alone, but also like the personal and social aspects of it as well. So yeah, we went and we found the guy to cure my introversion, and now we have Sarah along with us. So it's kind of a cool little role play story that if you can inject these little pieces of humanity into your player character and just take the time to identify these potential like little storylines and stuff that you make up on your own, you're gonna get a lot more out of the game than you are just, you know, playing through the main quest without any kind of personal consideration into what your character would do or how they're feeling or whatever. That is just kind of ticking boxes on your quest log and blasting through the stories and things like that. Yeah, you'll get a much more fulfilling experience. Man, she's booking it. Look, I left her in the dust. You too slow, Sarah? Hey, the wind. Welcome, welcome. As in Psycho Mantis? Ooh, Psycho Mantis. That's a callback to Metal Gear Solid 1. And MGS4, I believe, it was a callback to it in that game too, because there's just so much fan service in that one. Mantis will be based on your level and a lot of luck. Yeah, so let's take a look at what I have here. So the Mantis, if you don't know, is a storyline. I'm not gonna. There's not really much spoiler in the in the storyline for it, I guess. He's basically like a Batman type character, right? And then you encounter this, and then you get the Mantis gear, and then you become the Mantis, which happens. There's just like a small radiant little thing that happens where you can save merchants from spacers, and they're like, oh, you're the Mantis. It's good stuff. But the gear here, what did I get for the gear? I got Beast Hunter, negative 15 damage from alien enemies, which is nice against aggressive aliens like terramorphs and different other things that if you try to get close enough to scan, they get aggressive. Acrobat, make negative 50 fall damage, which is actually not all that great because you can just boost pack your way out of fall damage. I mean, maybe if you're out of boost charge. Reactive, 10% chance to stagger nearby attackers. That is actually great. That seems to proc all the time because of how rapid fire, like enemy gunfire is and stuff like that. And ballistic shielding just gives us, that was a mod that I put on there myself. It gave me some extra damage reduction against ballistic weapons. Okay, and I get some extra damage against ballistic weapons, so anti-ballistic there. Resource hauler, resources weigh 25% less, which is nice for, you know, doing those crafting runs that I like to do in New Atlantis. And then a 5% chance to disarm nearby attackers. That's also great. That, I feel like it procs a lot more often than the 5%. That happens, it seems to happen all the time. Especially with, like, you know, rapid fire, fully automatic weapons, people shooting you with those, it's like they're gonna get disarmed, right? Is it Batman Day today? Oh, you love the jacket? Nice. Yeah, this is just the Mantis set. You can get this fairly early on in the game. It's a tough quest line. You might, depending on how soon you go do this, you might have to turn the difficulty down a little bit. I ran out of ammo and health packs getting through it. But I was able to I was able to keep my normal difficulty level through it, which was important to me for, I don't know why. But you can get this very early on, and I've now had this for probably at least 20 levels. I haven't found anything better. So yeah, do the Mantis quest line early on. You'll get some really cool gear for it. You'll get a ship that's a lot better than the Frontier as well. And then on the helmet, we got Technician, negative 15 damage from robot enemies, which is not as good as the human enemies. You don't see as many of them, but it does come in handy. Probably better than for the alien enemies, I would say. 10% damage to scanned targets. I'm not really sure what that means. I have to look into that. I might be using my scanner a whole lot more. Is there a way you can mark enemies with your scanner? I don't know. Sensor chip, 20% accuracy while firing on the move. That's actually great. If you're getting into, you know, sort of close ranged gunfights, being able to move around and actually hit your target, because you see how the reticle expands while you're moving, that increases the spread of where your bullets go. If you're stationary and not moving, you're going to be a lot more accurate with your weapons. So being 20% more accurate on the move is actually quite nice. I've maxed out my mods for the Mantis. The nice thing is, if you don't like a mod, you can swap it to vanilla, no perks needed. Nice. That's on the on the armor itself? Or are you talking about the Razor Leaf, the ship that you get for it? September 16th is Batman Day. Okay. I don't recommend getting it early as the abilities are geared toward that and chance save scum if you don't get useful ones. Right. Yeah, I mean, I've been trying not to do the save scum thing, just kind of dealing with what I have. But there's also New Game Plus, right? To get all this stuff at a higher level, you can do that. I don't know, but there is definitely something to what you're saying there. It's a trade-off, right? Do you get powerful gear that's going to last you through early and mid-game, or do you wait until you get leveled up more and get even more powerful gear that's going to get you through the end game, right? I guess it depends on what you want through a playthrough. If you're doing a Mantis-centric build, then yeah, probably wait until you get end game gear at a certain level. So yeah, maybe you're right on that, but if you're not doing a Mantis build, then grab it. Not the ship, the gear itself. Okay, gotcha. You can put whatever ability you want as long as you have perks into weapon, armor, specialization. Yes, okay. It's kind of like Skyrim with stuff like the Nightingale armor. Yes, it's leveled, right? So like the Nightingale bow is a big one, and Dawnbreaker, I think, is another one that's leveled in the vanilla game. You can have a crappy pistol with super abilities and make the aesthetic stay the same. Oh, nice. Okay, let's move on. What are we doing here in the now? We are doing a bounty for, this is just a UC bounty, I think. I found a mission board at just a little, maybe this isn't a UC bounty, maybe this is, maybe this is a list bounty. This was on just a regular outpost, not one that I made. This was an outpost that I encountered just randomly, exploring a planet, and I found a mission board. It's not Constellation. I'm not sure it's UC. It might just be general mission board. Here and now, reality is a perception. It is. Let's see. Nice thing is you can change anytime is what I was trying to get across. Okay, so you can actually remove those effects at some point and then add other ones. That's pretty cool. But you have to have the crafting trees for them, right? Awesome. All right. Even level 2 if you have the ability. Sweet. I have to look into that because that is definitely something that the Cyberneticist would want to do. Okay, so for scanning this, there's no flora, no fauna, just resources, and we've already got 1 of 3 of them. Do another scan of this place once we're done. So I'm also looking for a place to set up my outpost. I want like a player home, sort of a research lab, but I want like a beautiful area to do it in. And I'm kind of thinking of like a Skyrim, snowy forest, maybe mountainous area. And I think one of the Procyon moons might be the go-to, but I haven't found a place that's perfect for it just yet. I don't think so.
For the likes of you.
Oh. Anybody else up here? Wow, that's like a giant railgun.
Another loser, another notch on my gun.
Yeah, see, Sarah's kind of a loose cannon. She's supposed to be like the goody two-shoes, fearless leader of Constellation, but she revels in combat. She's kind of a psycho. Ouch. Okay. You know, which would probably have been a red flag that I should have taken heed of before I married her. But you know, space is a lonely place. You find somebody with some body heat, you know, you're gonna take the opportunity. Oh, that's a bug that has been annoying. I'll tell you what. Every once in a while, so if you have a scoped weapon and you're playing in third person, whenever you hit the aim down sights button, you'll go into first person for the scope view. And every once in a while, it will give you the reverse view of it. I don't know if anybody else has, ain't there like any frozen planets? Hoth or something? Yeah, there are a lot of them like that, Haster. But I'm looking for something a little more hospitable than that. I'm looking for the winter scenery. Yeah, I don't know if any of you have experienced that bug, but it is very annoying. Certain times, certain places, certain angles of the camera, you go into your sight and you're looking behind you all of a sudden, rear view. I really hope that's something that they fix in some of the newer updates. So that's another good thing, is that I think that this game actually launched in fairly decent form, especially for a BGS game. There's been a lot of backlash about the performance and stuff, but this game launched with much better performance than Skyrim did on the hardware, on the current hardware of that time. And the same with Fallout 4. Those games had terrible performance, but we still loved them. This game actually has passable performance. You know, I mean, I'm on high-end hardware, right? But I'm still getting. I rarely dip into the 50s, and when I do, it's in New Atlantis. It's not in. It's not in combat situations and things like that. Now, on older, dated hardware, you're gonna have more issues, but. A lot of us with current hardware at the time when Skyrim and Fallout 4 came out, we were dealing with worse, much worse. Just in this new day and age of highly optimized games that run at 4K and high FPS, I think that the general gaming audience is a lot pickier about performance. I haven't had a problem with it at all. And from the performance analyses that I've seen from Digital Foundry and Gamers Nexus and stuff like that, it seems like it should be acceptable for the type of game that BGS puts out. If you want a tundra aesthetic, but with something snowy in the background, maybe not so foresty. I want a snowy forest is what I'm looking for. Not something barren. Maybe some water. It could be a frozen lake or something like that, but maybe like a pond or a lake, some waterfalls would be great. I don't want to start investing in output or an outpost building until I find the perfect spot for it. I feel like I'm gonna need this power block here. It's probably gonna be used to build a, or not to build, but to... Yep, see, I activated that robot there, and now he's fighting on my side. Who is shooting me? So as you can see, my output, my damage output is not bad at all. I'm one-shotting the vast majority of folks, and if I'm actually hitting my enemies, they go down in a few hits. This is a boss character, so he's a little tougher. Those robots are really, yeah, there goes the, now I'm looking behind me. There we go. I'm going to be using a lot of med packs. That is the only way to rank up the skill. The medic skill is by using med packs in combat. So that's kind of like my primary source of defense. It's just being able to heal after I take damage. Another pro tip here is to gather all of the ammo that you find. It's weightless. It's kind of like arrows in Skyrim, right? There's no reason not to take them. You sell them for pure profit. They weigh nothing, so they don't encumber you at all. Especially in this game where if you're like specializing in one certain weapon or one certain type of weapon, it's gonna be hard to stock up on the ammo for that weapon, especially early in the game. So what you end up doing, and this was true in Fallout 4 as well, is you collect all the ammo that you can, sell them at different vendors, and then use that money that you made selling that armor to buy, or the ammo to buy the ammo that you need for the specific weapon that you're using. And that's how you keep your ammo stocked up for your weapon. Until you get to that point, you're just gonna have to carry a few different types of guns that use different types of ammo. Okay, so there's a couple more resource types that we have to find, and I think that this area is probably clear now, so I can start just looting the place. So I am a laser weapons specialist, and as I said, if I had it to do over again, if I'm going to go from scratch with a brand new character, brand new build and everything, I would go with ballistic weapons, because there's a lot more options for ballistic weapons. There's not a lot for laser weapons, but I am on the lookout for always upgraded Orion and Equinox rifles. And also some of the pistol, what are those called? The Solstice pistols. But in my opinion, the Orion so far is head and shoulders above everything else. Right, SE was fine, right? That ran well even on like a PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. But original Skyrim releases, I don't think that we can compare a brand new release like Starfield to Skyrim SE, which was a much older game running on a much newer platform, right? Skyrim SE also looked horrifying compared to games of that era, right? With just the textures and the different models of characters and of the like items and stuff. The vanilla models in SE, they're horrendous. They're terrifying. So of course stuff like that is going to run better on newer hardware, but yeah, when Skyrim was new and it did not look terrible, it ran in a much less performant way on all of the hardware at the time. And the same with Fallout 4. Fallout 4 looked a lot better. It was not great looking, but passable looking when it came out at the time. But downtown Boston, it was ridiculously tough on performance, and it still kind of is in some ways, in many ways. This game at least does a lot better with utilizing the full CPU, using all the threads and cores on your CPU. It balances the load on the CPU a lot better than Fallout 4 does. That was a huge upgrade that they made from the Fallout 4 creation engine to this one, I believe, is just optimization for larger CPUs. Yeah, but aside from all that, they have committed to patching the game, fixing the bugs, making quality of life updates for free, which I think is something that developers and studios kind of have to do now. That's part of the expectation. I actually didn't expect them to come out with that tweet saying that they had more to give us all for free. I thought that, especially compared to Skyrim and Fallout 4, that this has been their best release ever. And then even like the NVIDIA performance issues that they have or that had and still having compared to the AMD cards, that stuff can technically be fixed with NVIDIA drivers. So NVIDIA could fix it for them. So I felt like that in particular was going to cause them to not touch it. Bethesda is historically, they don't support their games, especially like right after release. They'll get it into like a shippable form, they'll put it out there, they'll let people play with it, and then they'll be like, thanks for your money, see you later. And then they'll let modders fix it. But they're not doing that anymore, and that's awesome. Now at some point I do want them to just leave the game alone and let the mod scene flourish, but for the release window here, which I would say is the next 6 months, maybe even a year, have at it, man. Make your game better for us. I'm here for it. I've had 2 crashes that resulted in my having to unplug my PC. Oh wow, you've had to actually just do a cold reboot on your computer? That's nuts. I have not had one single crash. I've been playing for, geez, I'm not sure. Let's take a look. I have been playing for 72 hours and I've not gotten a single crash, freeze. I've gotten a few stutters here and there, usually during like autosave situations. But that's it. It's been extremely solid for me. And in interiors here, we're running at a very high frame rate. 140 FPS. Yeah, I'm digging it. Are you playing on PC, Grumpy Kitty? Because that could explain it. I mean, there's so many different platforms they have to optimize and develop for. They're not going to hit all of them. Yeah, Starfield is the most stable game BGS has ever released ever. Yes, indeed. Still has some issues. Hopefully they'll tweak, like NPC follower bugged. Yeah, the shaking, the weird little like they'll take a step while they're like walking or while they're talking, and they'll take another step closer, and then they'll just go like right through you and then go in behind you while they're still like taking a step and then talking. That kind of stuff isn't game breaking. It's kind of funny. It can be annoying, it can affect immersion and things like that, but you know, that to me just makes me feel like I'm playing a BGS game, and that makes me happy. It should make me mad, it makes me happy, and that might be some of the BGS Stockholm syndrome I think a lot of us are suffering from. Makes note the moment Magus declared a not Skyrim game is a lot of fun. Yeah, right. PC with a 3080. Okay, so you're pretty good specs too. Well, that's the thing too, is like PC as a platform is not really a platform. It's like thousands, hundreds of thousands of different platforms. Even if you're running a 3080, depending on who your vendor was, the manufacturer of that 3080, there could be something funky in the wiring of that specific model that when you play this specific game is going to exercise that specific circuit and cause you to crash. It happens with a lot of different games where everybody else is having a great experience, but for whatever reason with this game, you are like the only one who's having an issue. But still, 2 crashes is not terrible, depending on how much you're playing. And if you are a BGS veteran, you're probably playing a lot of this game. The worrying part is that you have to do just like a full unplug, right? Okay, so we got our bounty done. I think we still have 2 more resources on this planet to hit. There's a xenogrub. That does not count as fauna. These xenogrubs are all over the place, right? And they're probably like rats or like termites or different kind of insects that become invasive species. They're brought here on ships and things like that, unknowingly. They're not native animal life. But for whatever reason, they seem to be able to live everywhere. You don't see like infestations of them though. You only see like 1 or 2 of them just grubbing around at a time. Hey, look, there's more nickel. Copper I've found already. We're still looking for water and fluorine. Okay, are there any more landmarks to look at out here? So usually the process that I take for these kind of things is I'll land on a planet, I'll go do the thing that I wanted to do, and then I'll start scanning the surface for different resources. And then once I kind of get the immediate area tapped out, I'll start looking for different landmarks that you can find it. Like there's one like 700 meters away. It's unknown. You hit the activation key in your scanner and it will tell you what it is. So that's a natural landmark over there. So there's something over there. I'll head over there. I'll keep my scanner up on the way. Ooh, this is a very low grav. Space trucker casual wear. I don't think I need that. And then on my way to that, I will hopefully find these resources. The other thing I could do is I could head back to the ship and then go back into orbit, and I can scan the planet from there and specifically land in areas that have these resources, which is probably the more efficient way of doing it. But I kind of like right now just exploring planets. I've spent hours the last few days just, you know, jetpacking around planets, doing scanning and, you know, encountering random procedurally generated radiant quests and stuff, like different outposts and things like that with different enemies that I gotta kill, and different labs that I kind of like to find the story of. Like, what were they researching here? What were they doing? That lab that I just came out of, I've actually experienced before. That's part of the procedural generation of this, is they have kind of like these pre-built labs that you go into, and like all the data slates and stuff will be like carbon copies. So the story of that one is that that is a manufacturing plant that is building robots, and they sent out this message saying, thanks for all your hard work, we hit record profits this year, and because of that we're gonna upgrade your coffee station. It's just gonna take 4 to 6 months to get that thing upgraded. And everybody like had a fit because they were not gonna be able to have access to coffee for that 4 to 6 months. So they started reprogramming the robots that they were building to learn how to brew coffee on their own. And then that caused like backlash, and they started cutting workers' pay for lost time on the assembly line because they were reprogramming the robots there to do their personal bidding. So they took away their coffee and then started cutting their pay, all during record profits. Not cool, robot company. Hey, Mr. B, welcome, welcome. Bought this in 2019, and it was the first PC I bought pre-made. My hubby is a retired electrical engineer, and we usually build them ourselves. Yeah, I mean, this rig that I'm playing on right now, it started off as a pre-built iBuyPower. And it's a shell of its former self. The only piece of hardware that is still in it that came from that original machine is the disk that I have the OS on, which is probably, well, it is. It would make a lot of PC builders cringe because they're very fond of wiping their drive and having a fresh Windows install. You're gonna have better performance or whatever. I haven't had a problem. I've put this on, this is my third different motherboard, my second CPU, and my third GPU, and second and third memory kits, all on the same Windows OS. I just keep, you know, moving the the SSD that has Windows installed over to the new motherboard, and it just works perfectly without a problem at all. I never crash. I'm not having performance issues. I'm not having stability issues. No weird bugs. Windows Update still works just fine. I'm gonna ride this gravy train as long as it lasts. Looks like the realm of Bleach Hollows. It does kinda, huh? Just a bunch of copper down here. Oh, that's probably a dung pile. Oh no, it's just a rock pile. More nickel. Yeah, I'll take that. This almost looks like the Kalium, where the artifacts are kind of embedded in. Do I have anything else on the scanner? Just copper all over the place, and I don't need copper for anything right now, so... Okay, let's head back to the ship. You can actually fast travel straight from the scanner, which is extremely convenient. No performance issues. 2 things. What weapon build are you going for? Laser weapons. Yeah, sorry. I was doing my intro and everything and what I was gonna do. I did actually get to your question, but it was a few minutes after. Yeah, laser weapons, basically. So I don't feel the need to spec into anything other than one specific type of weapon. So I've been doing space rifles, laser rifles. So as a cyberneticist, you automatically get the first rank in laser weapons, right? And that is the background that I've chosen, was the cyberneticist. That's the build that I'm fleshing out here. And then I found an Orion rifle, which to me is like hands down the best laser weapon that I've encountered so far. And then you get different ranks and of course different tiers of that weapon. So I went into rifle certification from that. And then if I want to flesh that out even more, I can do sniper certification, which is all just scoped weapons. But this doesn't really come into its own until rank 3 and rank 4. Because so far the weapon sway and the steadiness, and like I haven't had to use breath at all for my scoped weapons. Weapon sway has been like a non-issue. So I probably would only spec into that for the crit chance on headshots and the 50% damage, which is actually huge while using the scope. And then things just like rapid reloading, marksmanship, which increases crit chance, crippling, and sharpshooting. But so far, I have not had an issue at all with damage output. This regular, like non-tiered, calibrated Orion rifle has been an absolute beast for me. It seems to hold its own in mid-range combat. I haven't had a problem with like its spread or precision or accuracy with non-aim down sights. And then with the scope on it, it handles like a long-range stuff like a dream. It's been great. So that's what I'm going for. I'm probably gonna stick with the Orion. If I can find like a unique or legendary version of it for the end game, that should be absolutely fine. Haven't seen beam weapons. What I mean by beam is if you played XCOM 2, you know what I mean by beam. I have not, but there are skills in the game for particle beam weapons. So there are particle beam weapons in the game, and you do have ranks of a skill for it. I'm not sure I've actually encountered any of them yet. But I think I do have the wiki pulled up. We could take a look at that right now. Oh, wow. So I wonder if particle beams is actually a modifier, like a mod that you can build for the weapon itself, because this one here says it's a shotgun, but it also does particle beam damage. It's a particle beam shotgun. That sounds amazing. What else we got over here? So particle beams are in the game, if only by name. What's this Nova Light? This I thought was a handgun. Yeah. I don't know. If I encounter one, we'll try one out for you. See how they work. Do you also get the left face? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I would like to see them fix that. I hope they do. It's really stupid looking and annoying. And it seems to be mostly in populated areas where the player model wants to do the head tracking to look at other characters, I think. That's where I've noticed it the most. Not so much on like desolate planets and stuff where there's not a lot of characters. Copper, we have water here. What else are we looking for? Fluorine. Don't see much fluorine. There's a lot of copper and water. Can I land in the water? Oh, that's copper. Let's try this. Frozen dunes. Yeah, we'll land right here. It does happen in the middle of nowhere too. Charge up energy but hit devastatingly. Maybe that is the way that these work. Yeah, that's more of an annoyance. That's not anything game breaking. That and like the NPC or the follower shaking and pathfinding and things like that. If they can touch that stuff up, they should. The head tracking thing definitely should be fixed. That happens all the time. So, okay, I'm a software engineer in real life. The way that development teams handle priorities of the things that they fix is they usually take a bug and then they will assign frequency and severity values to them. Who is this? You want some of this? Oh, there's fluorine right there. We just need water. They'll assign each bug a frequency value and a severity value. And then depending on those two values and maybe just some human analysis on how bad the situation is, they'll assign a priority value to it. So something like the head tracking bug would be highly frequent, but not severe at all, right? It doesn't break anything. It's annoying, but it doesn't affect the game. For the most part, it's not going to infect your enjoyment of the game, especially considering the vast majority of people are probably playing in first-person view. So that would be a high frequency, low severity, probably like a low to mid priority for that. And then the same with the follower pathfinding and the shaking and everything. That is probably high frequency, low severity, and then low to mid priority. So the reason why this game is so solid is because they prioritize things based on this frequency and severity. And they've obviously heavily prioritized severity over frequency, which is why we're not seeing a whole lot of crashing. The stability has been really good because they were able to maybe not fix some of the funky little follower quirks and the head tracking bugs and focus on the big stuff. A lot of memory management. I know it doesn't look like it for a lot of people, but optimization was probably a big thing. Getting it to run acceptably well on things like the Xbox Series X was probably a huge priority for them. But now that they've committed to doing like quality of life type things, like making a better map or like an eat button for when you have your cursor over food, that's very low frequency, low priority stuff that they're committing to. So I would imagine that they'd start to fix things like NPC pathfinding, which has gotta be a nightmare, right? Because of your followers can use jetpacks. They can get everywhere that you can, so trying to program them to not climb on top of shelves and stuff like that is got to be extremely, extremely difficult. So that's the other thing. The difficulty of the fix on these things has a lot to do with whether or not they're going to fix something. The juice has to be worth the squeeze. And if you got to squeeze too hard to get one drop of juice, it's we're going to fix something else, right? We're going to add a feature. We're going to do something we can do instead of spending a lot of time worrying about something that is going to take us a year to fix. Still looking for water. I thought I landed on... Ooh, that might be water. There we go. That'll complete the planet right there. I'd rather fix the followers bugging out first. Yeah, it's annoying, right? But it doesn't break anything. Enemy NPC AI is kind of terrible, but there's a lot of them here, yeah. I found a floating door on one moon. Oh, wow, not a gravity thing, just a door where it shouldn't be. That's awesome. I do want to check out what this structure is, and then we'll head back. Can't you sell completed planet data for extreme amounts of credits? Yeah, not really extreme amounts of credits. So in this game, you get an extreme amount of credits for just doing quests and stuff. You're probably around level 10 or so. You're gonna have a lot more credits than maybe you even know what to do with, unless you're doing you're like focusing on outpost building or trying to make a super awesome ship with the shipbuilding system. If you're not doing either of those, you're gonna have more credits than you know what to do with. I have 522,384 credits. So I feel like a lot of the quest lines and stuff, the rewards that you get for those are around 3,000-4,000 credits. Like a major quest line, for some of the factions, they'll reward you a little more highly with maybe something around 12,000 credits. And then if you do the like the Crimson Fleet or the US or the UC SysDef quest lines, there's a very large monetary reward for that as well. But who's that? Is this a spacer? He's got a gun on him. But yeah, for the most part, just, you know, picking up highly modded weapons, selling them at vendors. And yes, you can sell. It depends on the planet. The more resources, the more things you have to scan on a planet, the more you'll get the more you'll get for the completed profile of that planet. But in my experience, it is around like 3,000 or 4,000 credits for like the more populated planets, and then maybe a few hundred here and there for the smaller, less resource intense planets. Who is this? Are you friend or are you foe?
I don't take photos of people, sorry.
You don't take photos? Oh, you're just taking landscape shots, huh?
Oh, what the? Oh, you nearly scared me to death.
Did I?
I never encounter anyone while I'm out here.
What are you doing out here?
I take award-winning photos for a yearly calendar that my company publishes. It's
Anybody watch What We Do in the Shadows?
If you like this place, then you might.
She sounds
also
exactly like
the last
Nadja.
place I was at.
Yeah, okay, so this is the second time I've encountered one of these photographers. It's funny, if you tell them that it's a nice view, they'll be like, oh, you're not so bad yourself. And then they'll get all ashamed and they'll be like, oh, you were talking about the landscape, huh? Vlad pays the most for those scans. Yeah, we'll head back to the eye and we'll sell these scans back to Vlad. He does give you a pretty penny for them. I wouldn't call it an extreme amount, but he does pay well, and it's a great source of credits early on and throughout the game, really. Ooh, what was that? So yeah, Sarah is nuts, but she is DTF, anywhere, anytime. One of the perks of being married.
Was a perfect way to end the day.
Yeah, that's right. Any random bed that you find anywhere on any planet, you just spend an hour in there, and she'll go at you like a bobcat. Sarah didn't even need to change her surname if she wanted to. No, yeah, that was handy. It's also a little uncomfortable thinking that we might actually be related, but you know, like I said, space is a lonely place. Hey, if Luke and Leia could do it, why can't Sarah and Dan do it? No, not WTF. DTF. And I'm broke with 100. Yeah, right? You feeling broke with 197,000 credits? They just toyed with the prospect. I don't know. Who knows what happened off camera, right? There was a lot of time to account for there.
Orbital pattern locked in.
If sniping and using chems use panopticon, yes, that's another thing that people aren't making enough use of is the chems. So Fudge Muppet has been just completely tanking on unarmed builds. And I haven't seen anywhere in any of their builds mentioning like things like the red trench or infantry chems that increase, or the CQBX chems that boost up your melee damage, which could probably make those builds viable. Maybe not on like the hardest difficulty levels, but still much less spongy, right? Yeah, the pirate one just came out yesterday. I was in the middle of watching that. That's funny. I was actually in the middle of watching that when I went live today. Yeah, I'm about 20 minutes into the 30-minute build there. I don't know. The Fudge Muppet build guides are good when there's no other build guides to watch, right? They'll give you ideas. They'll help you learn. They can be educational, right? They can help you learn about the game a little more. I don't think Starfield is going to be great for things like builds, quote unquote, right? The skill tree is just really simple, I think. I haven't seen any more updates from Anai Sion, but I would love... he's been saying that he's going to be making a perk overhaul for this game for a while. I would love for him to take a crack at this, because so much of the skill tree is just you know, make this 10% more effective, make this 20% more effective, take 10% less damage here, 20% critical chance here. In a nice Scion overhaul would be less about the numbers and more about the gameplay. It's like, what can I do differently? And there is a lot of that stuff in here, right? It's just, it's dominated by the number stuff. Like the jetpack, the boost pack training, you need a perk in order to do that. And then once you get the boost assault training, it actually starts changing the way that you play, because you can hover above the ground for a long time and just blast people from above. Things like piloting, which gives you access to your thrusters. That stuff is cool. A lot of that kind of stuff in here, but it's just way more of the 10-20% more effective here and there stuff. And then I will actually, he'll put the number stuff probably all on the top level here, and then everything underneath that is gameplay related stuff, like the crosscut stuff from the one-handed perk tree and stuff like that in Ordinator, where it's like, do this in order to get this bonus type thing, and that's going to be a lot better. I think they haven't really tried most of the game intricacies. They're putting their standard builds out, nothing to write home. Yeah, I mean, and that's going to be a lot of, I mean, my first build is going to be the Cyberneticist, and that's just going to be a non-interesting or a non-unique. It's going to be interesting, right? It's going to be non-unique because it's a background, right? And I'll probably be focused on these backgrounds at least for a few times until I start coming up with unique concepts. But it's going to take a lot more hours in the game for me to really learn all the intricacies, as you say, and then start building character guides based off of these little like gameplay quirks and things like that. I would like to do an unarmed build now, just because Fudge Muppet says it's not viable. Bad Company Sarge, yeah, I saw his. He did a thief one. Yeah, one is thief and one's a generic wanderer explorer. It's not knocking them, just yeah. Actually, some of their later talking about Fudge Muppet, some of their modded builds are actually pretty good. In my opinion, they might spend too much time on the backstory. It makes it feel more like a narrative story, and then they just gloss over the skills and stuff. That might be what most people are looking for. I don't know, but what I'm looking for is like, how do I do new stuff in the game, and how do I apply that to a roleplay playthrough, right? And that's how my build guides are, because that's the build guide that I want to see is the one that I make. And so far, the closest I've seen to that are, you know, the Belisarius builds, which are second to none, and the Kruger builds, which he puts them out very few and far between. But the Kruger builds are really good too. And Skypothesis does a pretty good job too. They're kind of hampered by being vanilla and AE only. They could probably do a lot more with mods, but you know, modding's not everybody's bag, and you can still learn stuff from the more vanilla builds. I think it's just they're just a little less interesting because there's less you can do with them in general. But yeah, Fudge Muppet's not my go-to for builds. They've had some good ones though. Frostwolf is another fantastic chem. Seems more rare though. I haven't even seen that one, I don't think. What perk better to have? Max speech skills or maxed marketing perks? Are you talking about in this game? So they're kind of like in the same bucket, I think. They're in the social here. I haven't actually touched any of the social except for the manipulation one here. I might do like diplomacy, instigation, because this is all neuromod stuff for or neuromod. Neuralink's like the real life Elon Musk thing, right? I don't know what they call him in this game. It's neuro something, neuromod maybe. Yeah, the manipulation, instigation, and diplomacy, this is all cyberneticist type stuff, so I will be looking at this at some point, but I gotta get there first. But yeah, commerce, I don't know if this is speechcraft or marketing, but it's kind of both. You get more money and you spend less money. Persuasion's more of a speechcraft thing. Theft is something completely different. Oh yeah, anyway. Let's see, what's next here? I can go turn this into Vlad at the eye, but I think I kind of want to... Locate slushy prismatic plumes in Piazzi. Locate a gaseous font in Andromos. Locate extinction event in Alpha Tyrna. That seems cool. This is a constellation mission board thing. Shouldn't be spoilery at all. I think we could do that. Okay, Alpha Tyrna. I have no idea where Alpha Tyrna is, but we're gonna find out. Star Railstar. Hey, bud.
Thanks for stopping. I have a really important question for you.
Ooh, another radiant thing.
Do you know the way to Uranus?
Oh yeah, I do.
I sure hope so. It's right behind you. Smell you later.
Yeah, I've never seen that one before. That was new to me. A prank call. That's amazing. Yeah, I love this game. Capri X, what's up, buddy? You came in right at the right spot. You know the way to Uranus? It's right behind you. Okay, where in the world am I going? Alpha Tyrna. And I'm not getting a map marker for it for some reason. Oh, we're already in the Andromos system. I thought I had another mission here for Andromos. Yes. Locate a gaseous font. I think we've already located the gaseous font. The guy said Uranus was right behind us, so... Yeah, the telemarketer contacting you about the warranty on your ship is about to expire. I've had that one a couple times. I need a gaseous font. And not one on Uranus. I'm not sure that there was any gas on this moon, though. Let's go to the planet itself.
Damn it! It's the Mantis!
Oh yeah, it's the Mantis. Spacer Jackal, huh? Tough one here.
bugged out and left us with this mess.
No, not the mantis.
Total class act. Any way we can repay you?
Oh. You know, if you got any extra ship parts, repairs can be expensive.
Done. Can't stay here gabbing all day. Fly safe.
Nice. Thank you. Yeah, I always find myself low on ship parts. Since I've spec'd into piloting and the laser weapons a little bit, it's been a little better. I need to spec into shields a little bit too, I think. Star. Vanadium. Europium can be useful. Alright, there's more wreckage there somewhere, but whatever. Okay, so this was another gas giant. You can't land on the gas giants. So just scanning the planet itself will give you the survey data within seconds. This is an easy way to make money and experience. It's just scanning these gas giants. So we got UC and Freestar in the same, like, space. It's gonna get a little tense. I mean, they're not openly at war or anything, right?
Done. You take care out there.
But there still is a little bit of tension between the two. I wonder if the Shattered Space expansion that I think is due out next year for this game, I wonder if that's going to sort of explore the tensions between the two major factions, the Freestar Collective and the United Colonies, and maybe even like do like another conflict or something. I don't think we need another Civil War quest line after Skyrim, honestly. I feel like we played that game for long enough that that whole thing is kind of it's kind of cooked at this point. And I don't want to feel like they're just rehashing derivative stuff in this game. I would like to see them do something more unique with an expansion. But I think it was Gray Sky that mentioned in the CW Discord that he would love to see more stuff about mechs, and I would honestly love to see that too. If they could do like a power armor type like mech customization thing, that would be really cool. And the mechs were a big part of the whole colony wars, I think. The mechs and Xeno, Freestar Collective, their big thing were the mechs. That was their big weapon, their big specialty. And then the United Colonies was all about the Xeno warfare. mining outpost up there, huh? Maybe we'll check out the mining outpost. This is an extreme environment. We might come down with some kind of sickness or something. A lot to scan here. I wonder if we can find a gaseous font here somewhere. Let's see, we do have helium. That is a gas in this game, so we shall see.
Landing struts primed. Retros firing.
Give us mechs and power armor so we can be like a babushka doll of armor. There you go. I mean, it's already kind of like that, right? All right, Sarah, you recovered? You ready to go again? Let's do it.
That was quite a workout. Hope you had as much fun as I did.
Oh, yeah. I don't know how anybody gets any actual sleep or rest in this game whatsoever.
At least we can scour the place for materials.
So the reason I keep doing that is not because it's sexy as hell, but because you actually do get a this emotional security status effect up in the top right. For 24 minutes in-game, or not in-game, the actual real-time 24 minutes, you get an extra 15% experience gain. So, yeah. As if you didn't need another reason to make full use of those beds, right? So we got the fluorine. Some helium-3 right there. It kind of looks like a gaseous font, doesn't it? No flora or fauna on this one, so no life. No indigenous life, anyway. This looks like a gaseous font to me. I don't I don't know what else a gaseous font would be or look like. And it's not giving me any kind of quest marker or anything for it. It does say chemistry on it, so I wonder if there's like a chemistry skill that would help. I don't know. You're the new Mantis and you got married. That ends poorly. It does. Luckily, I'm the Mantis and she's not. But I'm picking up what you're putting down there, End King. I mean, she is crazy enough to do something like that, that's for sure. Okay, are these spacers now, or are these just colonists or just workers? Don't want to kill innocent people. Who are you people? See, I'm getting like no sway with the reticle at all. So holding the breath is like completely useless. I wonder if that's a laser weapon versus ballistic weapon thing, or I wonder if it's just a bug that they're gonna fix. Oh, backwards bug again. Damn it. Can't seem to identify who these people are from this distance. Who are these people? I wish this is something that you would get with upgraded scanning. Maybe there's something in the social tree. That allows you to identify mineralogy Inc. miner. Okay, so these are just workers. They're not pirates, they're not spacers. Let's see what's up. What's up, brah?
Hey, interested in making some credits? Scanners picked up some mineral deposits in a cave nearby. We need some boots on the ground to verify the scan. And get a taste of the minerals. Make sure it's worth sending a work crew. Whatever you can carry out is all yours. We just need to scan anything you find.
Scanning, probably not chemistry. So many references of Skyrim in here, quest dialogues. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, sure, I'll get some data for you. That's kind of what I do.
Much appreciated.
That'll also give me an opportunity to scan more of the planet. Another low grav planet here. Very nice. Makes it easier to get around. I got 5 out of the 8 resources so far. Maybe this cave will have more for us. See, this to me looks like a gaseous font. But I don't have the option to scan it. Maybe I'll have to look that up. What resources am I missing here? Alcanus, iron, and water. Okay. There's something. There's water. And now I just need the Alcanus and the iron. I feel like a gaseous font will be like a feature on the planet. Yeah, I kind of suspected the same thing too. So in that case, I'm probably looking for like one of these scanner markers here that is a natural feature or a geographic feature. It's just weird that it says chemistry on it, right? That is the name of a skill in this game. I hope that doesn't preclude being able to scan or discover these if you don't have the chemistry skill. Looks like there's another landmark way off in the distance there too. Maybe that refers to the chemical aspect for the geographical aspect of the feature. It could be. Ah, there's the Alcanus. Now we just need the iron. Oh, I do have to actually mine these. So this is something new that's just come out. So, you know, you can mine this stuff by just hitting the right trigger or just the main trigger. And it takes forever, right? For some materials to be mined this way. Well, if you hold the aim down sights button, you'll see that the reticle will start closing in toward the middle there. And if it goes all the way in, then you can mine these things like really quickly. It like gives you a boost to this stuff. Now in this case, this must be really hard stuff to ore or to mine, to extract, because you can see how fast my ammo is going down on this. Usually for like iron and stuff, you can get this in like 1/10 of a second doing it this way. Oh, you know what? The thing isn't even turning red. I can't mine this. I can harvest it though. That's the vent. Okay. That's why that wasn't working. What's in here? Credits and digipicks. Yeah, I'll take both of those. So once I get to something that I can actually mine, I can show that off. I think it's a puddle you need to use E to harvest. Yeah, there you go. Ah, here we go. Yep. So now the thing turned red. That means I can actually mine this with the cutter tool. So I hold on to the aim down sights and the reticle closes in. Boom. Oh, that was so fast, right? It's a game changer. Oh, and some beryllium down here too. Heck yeah. Jeez, okay, are there actually 10 things to mine down here? I'm not seeing a lot. More beryllium. Beryllium and aluminum. Does this count? No. Oh, and now I actually get a quest marker for it. Thank you. Two more left. Okay, still looking for iron on this planet to scan, but at least now we have the stuff for the dude over here. Some stuff for the dude. Where does that go? This way. Any iron out here? Anything at all? Oh, that's green. It's gonna show up as a blue outline. Just realized that I'm Cybermantis. Yes, I am. Or I could give all this gear to Sarah and she could be Psychomantis. You know, I would fast travel, but we're so close anyway.
Give us a real competitive advantage. You have my thanks. Here you go. For a job well done. Thanks again.
Yeah, no problem. See, 2,000 credits for that. It's you make a lot of credits in this game, a lot of money. All right. I need to refresh my beverage. I am bone dry over here. So I'm gonna take a quick break, grab a snack, get some more water, and I'll be back very shortly, okay? Don't go nowhere. All right, I'm back. Sorry, my mouth is still full. Oh, we got a skill point. Sweet. What are we spending this bad boy on? I think I need to focus on piloting and stuff. Actually, it hadn't been too bad. Last couple of space combat encounters. So maybe we're okay. Okay, so anybody who's done a lot of ship combat and stuff, so these skills say that it's only it only applies to targeting mode. Do I need to unlock the targeting control system in order to use targeting functionality to take advantage of this stuff? I feel like in any case you do. Okay. So I feel like this is kind of a necessity, right? I may not need to actually rank into this so much, but I do need to unlock it, yeah. This seems like kind of a no-brainer. I really do want the piloting perk, or to increase piloting here too. I don't know if the Class B and C ships are necessary. That's like the big like clunkers and like the ships with large crews and stuff, right? If I'm only going to be traveling solo or with one or two people, I think Class A ships are fine. Or am I mistaken? Are there only like certain weapons upgrades and shield upgrades and stuff that you can get on Class B ships? In any case, I think I'm kind of forced into taking targeting control because energy weapon systems, ballistic systems, weapons, they both use targeting mode. And I don't think there's any use in taking them unless you have it. So, yeah, all right. Okay, that's that then. The bad part about not taking a rank in either piloting or energy weapons. Oh, these things can get massive. These things can get like the size of small settlements in Fallout 4. Or the size of like a camp in Fallout 76. It's crazy. I think the big thing with the ships is that if you pirate or steal a higher class ship, and then you can't fly it if you don't have the rank. Okay, I'm not going to be doing any pirating with this character anyway. But the targeting is something that makes sense for a Cyberneticist build anyway, I think. How do I rank this up? I don't think it really matters. I do have targeting mode now. Okay. So I have not been able, I'm still need to find resources. Oh, and then there is actually a trait here somewhere too. All right, I still need to find some iron. Let's head back to the Razor Leaf. We'll go back into orbit and then we'll find where the iron is from the planet scan and we'll land somewhere close there. So you can full on get a ship the size of the Enterprise, but well, maybe not quite that size, but pretty close, like closer than you would think. It'd be cool if you could, if you upgrade your ship, it actually changes the look and statistics, especially if you upgrade your spaceship beams. Changes the color and look. Yeah, that would be cool. I mean, The appearance of your ship is so customizable already, though, that you can kind of do that on your own. I see where you're coming from, though. You'd want to have like a visual representation of it. FE is iron. That's what we're looking for. On its own, but you can at least do that manually. You can represent.
Beginning landings.
And different, like, upgraded lasers, they do look different. You can barely see it on the ship because it's such a small part of it. But when you upgrade your laser to a new laser, it does physically change the way it looks on the ship. Like, you can see right above the cockpit there, on top, that's the missile launcher. And those do look different for each one that you get. They're subtly different here and there. But again, it's like such a small part of how the ship looks that it doesn't really make a big visual difference. I always make it a habit to buy out resources since they're dirt cheap and the lodge has infinite storage. Yeah, it does. The problem with that is you then have to run from your from wherever you're buying the items from to the lodge, which is not a big deal. You lose fast travel ability. I like to do smaller runs for everything that I do, so I can keep the fast travel.
Where the hell did you learn to do all of that? Oh, please don't say me.
Ship looks like a backwards fly bug from Dark Souls 3 Swamp Area. It does. Yeah, you can do some crazy stuff with it. I think that the pre-made ships in this game actually look pretty good.
Amazing, isn't it?
But seeing some of the things that people have done with the shipbuilding system is like nutty. It's really cool. There's a structure there. What is this? Ooh, there's a natural thing there. That's probably what that question mark is in the scanner. That's usually a trait of the planet, and that's usually some kind of natural feature. This also could be the gaseous font that we're looking for. Love the razor leaf. Yeah, the laser reef. The razor leaf looks great. I love the name of it too. What was the name of the Mandalorian ship when that series started? It was something very similar. They did a solid with that one, sure. Oh, the Starborn ships. Yeah, those are crazy. The first time I saw one of those, I was like, what am I looking at? Now, I haven't played through the main quest, so I don't know who the Starborn are, but I do have... There we go, got all the resources. There's my iron right there. But I do have theories on who they are. And I think it has to do with New Game Plus. This isn't a spoiler because I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. It's just me speculating. Helium-3. This kind of looks like a gaseous font a little bit, doesn't it? That was just another Helium-3 thing. What the heck is this? Unexplored chemistry feature. Okay. So this could be the gaseous font. I just need to find something to scan. Ouch. Lung damage, of course. What's that over there? That's something. Watch it just be like a rock pile. Yeah, it's just a rock pile. Unexplored chemistry feature. Ooh, here we go.
Hope you've calibrated that thing.
Hey, there it is. The gaseous font in Andromeda. So Wind was right. Wind was right. We got another complete survey here too. Nice. Okay. Well, there's another bounty done. What's next? Locate extinction event in Alpha Tyrna. I don't even know where Alpha Tyrna is yet. Locate prismatic plumes in Piazzi. These are all these are all very alliterative. So extinction event in Alpha Tyrna. There's no E planet or system, I guess. So prismatic plumes in Piazzi. This was subsurface seas, slushy subsurface seas in Sirius. I see what you're doing. Okay, we got what? About 50 minutes left in the stream. Hey, Gray Sky, what's up? Hope you're having a good time. Just checking in on my spacefaring brother. Hell yeah, man. I love this game. In fact, I was getting geared up earlier in the week to maybe do a Skyrim stream this week, and I was like doing some crafting runs and stuff for my Stormcloak Assassin, which is a great concept, and I'm proud of where it's going. I got some cool juice for that guy later on, but I was thinking the whole time, man, I just want to be playing Starfield right now. This happened with Fallout 4. I'm not abandoning Skyrim. There's no way that's going to happen. But I did become obsessed with that game for like a couple months or so, and then I went back to Skyrim. But yeah, I'm completely obsessed with this game right now, and I want to follow my bliss. I'm not making enough money on this channel to do something that or to not follow my bliss on, right? It's not that I don't want to play Skyrim, it's just that I'm obsessed with Starfield right now. So yeah, I'm gonna follow my bliss. I'm gonna do what I feel like doing.
Pressure holding.
If it's Starfield, I'm here for it. Nice. I say play what you want. Hell yeah, buddy. It helps that it's another BGS game, so it does kind of bridge the gap between Skyrim and whatever I'm playing, if I'm playing a BGS game. Depending, like, it doesn't really matter how different the game is, there's always going to be similarities between Skyrim and another BGS game, so that's something that people can glom onto. And I think that if I'm avoiding spoilers like I'm doing with this right now, because the game is new and people really haven't had a chance because it's so huge, I've been trying to avoid spoilers in my own viewing of Starfield content too. I think doing it this way kind of helps. Doing the non-spoilery stuff. I've been doing the same. Honestly, tried to go back to Skyrim modded, but Starfield is still gripping me. I enjoy it. Yes, it's good. It's a new BGS game, right? And I've been frothing at the mouth for a new BGS game. I did actually. You're gonna respect me a lot less for this, but I did actually try to play Fallout 76 because I was so hungry for a new BGS game. And I played it for 10 hours once. And then I waited a couple of months and I played it for 10 hours again. And I was like, nope, can't do it. This game is not it. This is not what I'm looking for. Yeah, so I went right back to Skyrim. I did play Fallout 4, but since I couldn't think of any real good content to make for that, I didn't really play that on stream or make any Let's Plays. I did actually try to make a Let's Play for it one time, and I started editing it and everything, and I was proud of the introduction, and I was like, you know what, I don't enjoy making content for Fallout 4 like I enjoy making content for Skyrim, so I kind of focused on the Skyrim builds for a while, and that really got me through to Starfield. But now that we're here at Starfield, this is my new obsession. Okay, where are we going here? We could scan another planet, or I could go back to the UC Vigilance and get some more pirate bounties. I kind of want to shoot some stuff up, so let's go back to Crix. We'll board the Vigilance. We'll do some mission boards for some pirate bounties, I think. I want some action. Done the scanning, done the exploration. Now I want to shoot some fools. Vega. We're looking for the Crix system here. Oh, there's Piazzi though, actually. I feel like now that we're close, let's go do the Piazzi thing. Fallout 76 is just nope. Unsub. I think Fallout 4 is more difficult because of the voice protagonist. It is, and there are mods that fix that, right? But it is harder to do like a proper Let's Play roleplay with Fallout 4 because it's voiced. But also it's very closed-ended on both sides. You always start the game in the same way, and you always end the game in the same way. So doing your own storytelling is not as easy. It's not as facilitated in Fallout 4 as it is in Skyrim. Oh, I don't know if you guys realized you could do this, by the way. But you can destroy asteroids just like the old school Asteroids arcade game, and then you actually can loot mineral deposits from them. I spent a good 30 minutes just blasting asteroids out of the sky when I figured out you could do this. It's fun just watching the physics like explode and stuff. Oops. I was looking at the chat. Iron and iridium, I don't think I need either one of those, so. Okay, let's point our ship in a direction where it's not gonna collide with another massive asteroid here. Prismatic plumes in Piazzi. Locate a planet with prismatic plumes. Another chemistry feature. Okay. Well, where are we now? We are on Vessel 3. We've already completely surveyed this dude here. Let's... Vessel 3B, Vessel 3A. Let's try the moon. There's a civilian outpost over here too. Okay. Looks like Vessel 3 has already been completely scanned, so let's go to the first moon here, Vessel 3A. See what we got over there. When are you going to start building the buildings on each planet? Well, I want to find the perfect planet for it. I haven't found the perfect planet yet. I was talking to chat earlier and said that I want to find like a cold wintry planet with like a forest landscape and maybe some water features and stuff. I'm looking for like something that reminds me of Skyrim actually before I start putting effort into building the outpost. The thing that I don't want to do is start pouring time and resources into building an outpost that's not in the perfect spot, right? Yeah, Magus is having the same issue. Too many options, right, but all I need to do is find that, I need to find the place, and that's kind of why I'm kind of scouting for an outpost right now too. I did start an outpost just to see how it worked on Crete, where you find the terramorphs and stuff, but it was just very basic just to see how the mechanics work, and it's pretty much exactly like settlement building in Fallout 4. More things to consider, obviously, because of harsh conditions and resource extraction and things like that can get a little more complicated, but it works kind of pretty much the same way mechanically. I would want something with greenery and trees and water and such, nothing bare. Yeah, there was the place that you go for Sarah's quest line. It was kind of like Pandora from Avatar. That was I considered it because there's a lot of like lush greenery and like water features and stuff all over the place there. It's a beautiful planet. But I want something snowy and wintry. Tau Ceti. Sarah has a quest line? She does indeed. You don't have to marry her or get romantic with her, but you do need to increase the relationship, and I think all the major followers have their own quest lines. And they really help flesh out the characters too, so if you find... I mean, I highly suggest you know, following up on all of the character quest lines. The only one I've done is Sarah so far, but I found in Fallout 4, which is very similar to the follower quest lines in Starfield, that all of those characters' quest lines were worth it. Been traveling with Sam. Yeah, Sam will have a quest line. I haven't done his yet, but I will. And yeah, it becomes unlocked as you grow your relationship with the character, as they like you more and more. It's so hard to play as a bad guy in this game. Well, yeah, especially in terms of the like, if you're a lone, like, wanderer type character, then I think it's easier. But in terms of followers, maybe Andreja is like the darkest one, but everybody else is pretty much a straight-laced good guy, right? And Andreja herself is even more good than she is bad. Yeah, if you discount Constellation entirely. Yeah, they're supposed to be neutral, and they are, I think, but maybe more neutral good. They're only good because they're not overtly bad, right? But based on my experience with the Crimson Fleet, and again, avoiding spoilers here, but I had Sarah with me the whole time, and she seemed pretty cool with whatever I wanted to do. She would get mad at me, and she would dislike certain things, but that wouldn't, like, completely turn her off. And in fact, in some ways, she was even worse than I was. She chooses violence a lot more than I would have. I'm eventually going to do a Saphira equivalent in Starfield. That would be awesome. What organizations are you planning on joining? I've already done UC SysDef. And that's more of a quest line than it is like a faction that you join, but there are certain perks that you get from joining the faction. Not least of which is the mission boards, which I'll probably do before the stream ends here. But yeah, Constellation, obviously you have to join Constellation as part of the main quest. You can completely ignore the Constellation stuff, but I wouldn't recommend it. There's a lot of really key stuff in Constellation that helps you out a lot. Crimson Fleet I touched on a little bit. I don't know how much more I can say about that without giving away spoilers. And I do want to do the UC Vanguard quest too, because one of my character traits is a UC citizen, or UC native, not UC citizen. Apparently, to become a fully fledged citizen in the United Colonies, you have to serve time in the military, in the Vanguard. So I believe that is what I will do next. And I also kind of want to look at main quest lines. So I think my next two priorities is going to be doing the UC Vanguard mission, and then I'm going to focus on the main quest, and then, you know, just try to play around with some of the mechanics here and there, and get some buildcraft strategy figured out here and there. New game, new roleplay. Yes, indeed. I think this game with the new game plus, it kind of gives you a new spin on the new character, new roleplay thing. I think you can roleplay the same character in different ways with a new game plus, and you don't have to lose all the progression. I don't know. That's going to be kind of a paradigm shift for me, right? I still don't know exactly how the new game plus works. That's part of the reason why I kind of want to focus on main quest here soon, because it's becoming harder and harder to avoid spoilers, and it also seems like a key game mechanic that I want to get down. I know some about the Freestar Collective Deputy faction. Yeah, that's an option too. I don't know. I haven't gotten to the point yet where I don't know if the UC Vanguard and the Freestar Collective, if those are explicit or exclusionary, right? I don't know if you can do one and the other, or if you have to pick between one or the other, because they are rival factions, right? But, you know, since they're not actively at war, maybe they're a little more okay with it. I don't know if anybody knows. I don't think it's a spoiler or anything. If it's not a spoiler, please do post in the chat if you know. Okay, only 3 resources here. That should be fairly easy. This is barren and deep freeze. We're looking for a prismatic plume. It does have helium-3, so there is gas on this planet as a resource. All right. Well, let's go somewhere where we can find 2 different things. I see... There's the craters. Maybe somewhere like right here that has all 3 colors on it.
Gear looks green and ready to land.
You know, I thought I was gonna get sick of the takeoff and landing animations, but I think I prefer it to the straight up fast travel. I know that space travel is an illusion in this game, that it's all just fast travel with cinematic animations in between as the loading screens, but the illusion still works for me, right? It's still immersive. I still feel like I'm actually landing on this planet even though I'm just watching a cutscene. It works for me.
Damn it. Do we have to get up already?
Do we have to get up already? I think I got up like 3 times in that hour, Sarah. What more do you want from me?
Better days. I wonder if it's always looked like this.
It's kind of like carriages and boats in Skyrim that are just fast travel, but better because Starfield has animations. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much, Gale. That's a structure. We're looking for natural features here. Well, that's interesting. Beryllium, aluminum. What else are we looking for here? Helium. And I landed specifically in a helium spot, and that's the only thing I have left. Oh, there we go. All 3 of them right there. There we go, scan complete. And I'm not seeing a question mark on my survey field there. So that means, that tells me that this prismatic plume is not on this planet. I'm looking for a planet with a question mark with a circle around it underneath the resources there. So, oh man, I still have lung damage from that gaseous font. So yeah, I still got to do some more exploring here. All right. Well, I have that done. I really want to do a pirate bounty. So I want to head to Crix. We only have about 30 minutes left in the stream. Let's make a beeline for the Vigilance. We'll pick up some bounties and we'll go do those. Yeah, in Strudel's absence, you're really picking up the WoW duties there, the Wind. I appreciate that.
Aim point reached. Orbit
Your guy can
stable.
replace his lungs. Yeah, a true cyberneticist
Respond
would.
immediately. We're done scanning. Huh? What? Damn it! You're the Mantis.
Indeed.
It can't be.
Yep, you picked the wrong target, pal.
Shit. Listen, just go.
As the mantis pathetically coughs into the microphone.
Please, just don't kill me, all right? I got kids. Like, so many kids. 10 of them. 10 children.
I love this game. They really knocked it out of the park with the writing on this game. That was something that was So yeah, so tell me their names, all of them.
Adam, Anna, Alphonse, Adele?
That was something that wasn't on the greatest trajectory from Skyrim. So Skyrim had worse writing than Oblivion, hands down. Fallout 4 had worse writing than Skyrim, in my opinion. It had its moments. Fallout 76 had basically no writing until some massive expansions. No, that's not enough for me to spare you. You are scum, buddy.
Oh no! We got ourselves.
The enemy's shield creates pride.
Ship parts I will take. So funny. So many flee at the sight of my ship with the mantis. That's nice. Yeah, I mean, they weren't doing that for me very often. But it, like, as I got higher level and started to like do more, I started getting more of those radiant quests. It's hilarious. I love the random encounters. This is just like, you know, finding Maik or like the Thalmor patrol or whatever in the Skyrim open world. This is exactly the same thing. It's the same system. It's just, you know, it's rewritten for spaceships. This is another thing that makes the illusion of space travel like work, is the little random encounters you find coming out of your jumps and stuff. I mounted my first ship during combat. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, that's really fun. I've been able to do it randomly because I didn't have the targeting system enabled. But just randomly, you can disable like engines sometimes, and then you can board their ship. I've done it a few times, just like maybe once or twice. But yeah, that's awesome. I get the Wamabi legends. I think they can wannabe legends. I'm thinking they can take me out. Yep, keyboarding is hard. I have the same issues. Wind. Okay, let's see here. Looking for cricks. Looking for cricks. I wish there is. Does anybody know? Is there a way to? I just figured it out. There is a way to zoom out. It's the left trigger on a controller. Cricks. Here we go. Looks like I can jump all the way there too. Excellent. Go to the key. So this is the key. Now the vigilance should be floating around here somewhere, I think. Just gotta find them. This is Steph Longsword, Gladius. Not a Gradius. Oh, that's probably it right there. The vigilance. Yes, please. This is where you find all the SysDef mission boards for like pirate bounties and stuff like that. Added a jammer to my mantis. I hate that it removed my clutter. Ooh, okay.
If you didn't scratch the paint.
Yeah, that's kind of a thing, right? It's shipbuilding is kind of like settlement building or like Hearthfire in Skyrim. But when you're trying to clutter up your space with like different items here and there. Whenever you like upgrade or switch ships or anything like that, it just puts everything back in your cargo hold. It's kind of a pain, but I guess it's got to reset itself to a certain state whenever you add something significant to it.
Hey there, sleepyhead. What's the matter? Did I wear you out?
You're always wearing me out, Sarah.
The shame the United Colonies built such an impressive ship for battle.
So I'm trying out this new energy
Using it
drink from
for
Costco. It's
exploration.
called Zoa. This one is wild orange flavor. It's not quite as sweet as like a Monster, even like a Monster Zero Sugar or Monster Low Carb. 10 calories per can, gives you 160 milligrams of caffeine, which is like 2 cups of coffee, I would say. It does have some like B and C vitamins, electrolytes.
Pleasant to see you.
And the caffeine comes right from coffee and green tea, so there are some what do you call them? Antioxidants in it too. A little healthier than a Monster. I think Monster tastes a little better, but it's like just the right amount of caffeine. If you milk it, let it last, you don't get the jitters. Okay, now I gotta be able to find my way to the bridge here without getting lost. The brig? I don't want to go to the brig. I want to go to the bridge.
We did it.
Docking port, cargo bay. Maybe I want to go to the lift. Head for Helgen, yes indeed. Now, docking ports, lift is this way, I guess?
You're the top gun on this ship. After what you've done, I have no qualms relinquishing the title.
Hell yeah, I'm the top gun. I think the lift is what I want to do. Yeah, I've never tried to find my way around this ship without use of a map marker, but it looks like I'm good here.
This was a victory for the entire settled systems. Reclaiming the key was a
This is
long
what I
time
was looking
coming.
for. Oh, here we go. Here's the terminals. Kill the pirate Reaver on Tyrna 3. Okay. Happily. And Tyrna, or not Tyrna 3, Tyrna 2. I think that was one of the missions that we had for Constellation too. Wasn't Tyrna one of them? Yeah, the extinction event in Alpha Tyrna. Okay, cool. 2 birds, 1 stone. I love it. So yeah, the exploration part is fun on its own, just exploring new planets and things like that, and scanning is lucrative. You get money and experience points for scanning. The
Where to next?
Radiant quests, the procedurally generated stuff that you can find, and the things that you can fight as part of it make it so that it's not boring to do this stuff, even on like a desolate planet. So it is a good way to earn credits and earn experience points, and just have fun without progressing like quest lines and stuff like that. This is the key. Or no, this that was the UC Vigilance. We are at the key. I don't want to say any more because I don't want to spoil anything. You do have choices to make in certain quest lines, is what I'll say there. And this is why I marked this stream as spoiler-free-ish, because there's certain things that I just can't hide about the state of my game. So, sorry.
Wrong place, wrong.
Oh, great. This is gonna be hard.
Enemies grabbed our mission.
Oh, I thought there were a lot more enemies than there were. Ooh, okay. Yeah, just, you know, putting a few ranks into some of the piloting skills has really helped out a lot, especially the thrusters. It really helps a lot with maneuverability and keeping your sights on the target. You can really turn a lot quicker. I think from what I played, I haven't really gotten very good at it yet, but space combat is it seems like offense is the best defense. You just want to make sure that your shields are up to snuff, because there's not like a whole lot you can do defensively other than just make sure whoever's trying to kill you dies real fast, right? Have I upgraded my ship? I've upgraded it a lot, yeah. I spent a lot of money on upgraded everything. But I still haven't gotten it up to where I would like to have it, I would say. So before, because I was really resistant on spending any kind of skill points on it, because I really wanted to lean into the cyberneticist, like cyborg aspect of things, and how to build that character out. So I wanted to save all my skill points for that kind of thing, but I was just getting massacred in space combat. So I upgraded my ship as much as I can. Like whenever I land at a new place that has different parts available, I'll find whatever the best parts are for it, and I'll upgrade it then. But even that just took me so far. Now it's like I'm getting to the point where I need to start investing those skill points in space combat in order to survive certain like necessary encounters. You have to be careful about mass. For upgrades, I haven't really hit any mass limits for upgrades yet, I don't think. Maybe there's a debuff that I'm missing somewhere.
This world has all the essential building blocks to support life.
Yeah, this looks kind of nice, huh? I wouldn't mind living in a place like this. Ooh, there's fauna on this as well. This will be a fun one to scan. But still not exactly what I'm looking for. This is like the Rift, right? This is the Rift planet. See if we can find Riften somewhere. One gripe I have about alien life is that like it's all it is a bunch of like weird looking bug creatures, right? They all have exoskeletons. They all have like the weird sharp legs. They're all just weird looking bug creatures. I wish there was like maybe like some more furry creatures, or I don't know, bird-like creatures. Boom, headshot. Boom, headshot. Who's next? Didn't quite do the boom headshot there. I really need that perk for the hovering jetpack. The hell'd you go? There you are.
Fire! Fire!
The gunplay is actually really satisfying in this game. It stands on its own as a decent shooter. The controls are more than serviceable. You saw I basically just finished all those guys off with headshots, which is not easy to do in most shooters, let alone a Bethesda game. But the controlling all works really well. The close range is where this build starts to fail, but even just doing non-aim down sights. Sarah, you okay?
Come on!
I saw you. Did you find some kind of quantum anomaly here? Those are all over the place in the game, so I wouldn't be surprised. But I really wish you'd stop. Yeah, so I'm satisfied with the combat in this game. The gunplay is a lot of fun. It works really well. There was a dude over here, wasn't there, that I killed first? Maybe not. Maybe he floated away. That's the Orion. Yes, this is indeed the Orion. This is hands down the best weapon, the laser weapon that I've found so far. I've had a couple different versions. I have not found one with any effects on it yet. This one is a calibrated one. I'm still looking to find like a refined one or maybe an advanced one that does more damage. But for the most part, if I can hit them in the head, I'm one-shotting most enemies, even with just the calibrated one and no effects on it. It is modded to hell because I am I'm leaning heavily into crafting for this character. But I haven't really needed anything else. It's serviceable in close without aiming down sights. I'm able to just hit them with body shots enough, and then the effects that I have, the reactive effect that I have on my Mantis armor here, 10% chance to stagger nearby attackers. That happens a lot more than 10% of the time. I don't know if it's bugged or if there's something else that I'm not considering, but I stagger nearby attackers all the time without having to do anything. So that's a really strong effect on that too. But yeah, there's the Orion, and then there's also what, the Equinox. I have that equipped. I just don't use it because the Orion tends to do everything I need it to. The fire rate's a lot quicker on this, but you know, if I'm doing one-shot headshots with scoped fire, I'm all good. Wow, that thing's wicked looking. Hunting coral crab. Oh, he's getting worked though by the grazers. Filterers, I guess. Yeah, everything's just a weird looking bug. There is a lot of variety on it. Wow, that thing looks terrifying with those big old mantis claws. That's a level 45 enemy too. I think I'm level 31. Yeah, those big old claws. That's what I have, the Equinox. Yeah, that's it's probably more well-rounded, especially for closer in fights and things like that. But I think the Orion just has it handles range better.
Not going to need it anymore.
And it does more. It has more damage output per shot, and it's enough damage output that you can one-shot most enemies if you're able to get that headshot, which is kind of the gameplay I'm going for anyway. The wind's currently growing new fingers. But you wish you had long-range scanning now, huh? Don't I have long-range scanning? I can zoom in a lot. I just can't scan it from this far away. Is long-range scanning something that I can get? Because I have surveying completely maxed out, which adds zoom and sets the scan distance to 50 meters. And this is all doing it from orbit, so that doesn't affect on ground. Yeah, I thought I had my scanner maxed out. Yeah, 50 meters isn't bad, but it's I don't want to get within 50 meters of this guy. That looks terrifying. No, thank you. Okay, just a little bit more looting, and we'll go in and see if we can find this the boss that we're going for here. I feel like gravity on this planet is high. It's not just like normal like it is on Earth. It is actually a high grav system because I'm falling very quickly. Like I said earlier, you want to loot all the ammo that you find. You can sell that ammo that you don't use and use those credits to buy the ammo that you do use. There are mods that do armor crafting, ammo crafting. But without mods, that's kind of the process that you would use in like Fallout 4 to make sure that you had all the armor reserves or the ammo reserves that you needed. Oh yeah, here's another particle beam weapon. I think it was Potema that wanted to know about particle beam weapons. Let's see how they work in this game. This is a refined Nova Light. I'm not spec'd for particle beam weapons, but I did want to see how they work at least. So I guess in XCOM, the particle beam weapons can be charged up. This one does not seem to be chargeable. Maybe that's a mod that you can put on it, but this just seems to work like a regular gun. It's just a different kind of damage type. In Fallout 4, there was a chargeable module that you could put on laser weapons that for like sniper rifles and stuff. If you held onto the trigger, it would use more ammo, but they would be a stronger shot the longer you held it. Which sounds like what you're describing for XCOM, but it does not look like that's how this is working right out of the box anyway.
Looks like a pretty standard industrial facility. I presume there's a reason that you've brought us here?
Well, we have a bounty from SysDef for some kind of spacer pirate or something down here. Let's see, what status effects I have. It's a stable prognosis. Let's see if I can heal this. Lung damage, I think I have a chem or something that will do it for me. Looking for something that heals lung damage. Probably an injector usually does it. It's not an infection, it's lung damage. Oh, here we go, injector. That does do lung damage, and the lung damage has been cured. Nice. Now coughing, it does do some O2 damage, so if you're trying to sprint or do some kind of a evasive maneuver or whatever, you might not have the O2 to be able to do that, whatever action you're trying to do. But I think the cough is more detrimental in terms of stealth because it happens randomly and it will break your stealth status because your enemies will hear it. I'm not really a stealth character. I will take my shots when I have them, when I get them. And I am wearing the Covert Ops outfit from the Ryujin questline. So I do have sort of like Fortify Sneak enchantments if in the... Oh wow, that was easy. that was the damn bounty right there. Continue clearing out this area though. Recon scopes are also awesome. You can, once you get to a certain level of weapon crafting, you can put them on pretty much any rifle weapon. And all you have to do, oh, these guys are tough. Sorry, Sarah. Once you get to a certain level of weapon crafting, you can put those recon scopes on anything, and you can actually reveal people through walls once you've had your targeting reticle on them for a while.
Bring it on.
So yeah, in close, I do the non-aim down sights gunfire. Just hip fire, I think is what they call it. And that seems to be fine. Once you zoom in with the scope, things get a little too precise for close-in combat. Okay. One more a-hole left. Right there. Take some laser to your face. How about that? Yeah, so the CQBX, Close Quarters Battle X, that will also boost up your melee damage. So I feel like melee builds, probably unarmed builds in particular, they're gonna lean heavily on these chems. As Magus mentioned earlier, there are a few different chems. 25% melee damage for 5 minutes with the CQBX, and I believe you can craft these at a pharmaceutical station once you get the chemistry ranks for it, and do the research on it. There was this. There was also Red Trench, I believe. 40% melee damage and 300 damage resistance. This is all good stuff. Chems are game breakers, vanilla, and so powerful. Yes, they are indeed. They're like alchemy in Skyrim, right? A lot of people just they're turned off on it right away because they don't want to do crafting in a game. They just want to go fight stuff. But there are certain builds that are enabled and almost require it. There's so much backstory with each member of Constellation. There is, and I've only scratched the surface. I've only really done Sarah so far. But as you progress in the main quest line, the different members of Constellation will open up to you more. And there are quest lines where you have to bring them along. And there are certain things that even if you don't bring the members of Constellation along with you, that it will increase your relationship status. So you do get a little bit more of their story just as you play the main quest. But to really get their full story, I do recommend, you know, increasing your relationship status with each one of them. You don't have to romance them. You just have to increase the relationships. That you need to get them to like you more, and then they'll trust you. I've only done Sarah so far. Nice. Okay. Oh, by the way, I wanted to ask you guys. So YouTube automatically enabled like mid-roll ads for the stream. And I did want to experiment with it a little bit just to see if it was just to see how it was, but I don't really have any indication of how annoying it is or anything. Have you guys experienced any mid-roll ads so far in the stream? And if so, is it completely annoying? Does it take it? You've not seen a single ad? Okay. Do you have YouTube Premium or any kind of ad blocker or anything? Popped up 4 times. Was it egregious? Was it too much? I can disable it if not. I'm not making enough money off of those ads to you can skip after 5 seconds. Okay, that's not too bad. That's not too bad. I might disable them going forward. I don't know, we'll see. If I have not had anybody complaining about them, so maybe they're not crazy. Well, yeah, I do make money. I mean, if I'm lucky, I'll make... So I think that, like the build guides and stuff, after about a month or 2, I can make upwards of like 15 bucks off of that one video, right? Which isn't bad. It would be much more lucrative if I had time to just crank out build guides, right? Pretty much everything else, though, I'm lucky if I make $1.80 off of it, streams included. And again, I'm not trying to like turn this into a career or anything. If I could make it like a side gig or something like that, that is fun for me and it doesn't like put me out too much in terms of making it feel like a job, then yeah, why not? But for now, yeah, I'm not making enough money to actually ruin the experience for everybody else. So if ads are getting in the way of you guys enjoying my content, let me know. I can scale back on it. It's not really any skin off my back, really. They're like Twitch ads now. Yeah, you don't have an ad blocker, but it doesn't block YouTube ads. Oh, interesting. So Magus has gotten 4 ads and you haven't gotten a single one, but you do have an ad blocker, but it doesn't block mid-roll YouTube ads. Interesting. The one thing that, okay, so the one thing that I do want to keep ads around for more than anything is the algorithm. YouTube is obviously going to promote videos that they make money off of, right? Okay, so it sounds like the ad blocker is actually doing its job then, which is fine. There's no skin off my back again. Yeah, don't feel like you gotta feel bad for blocking my ads or anything. I don't care. Wow, this is a cool looking gun. Man, I wish I did ballistics. I should do a solid snake build at some point and just go all out on the 45 caliber stealth stuff. Maybe do some daggers, some CQC. That is a really cool gun that makes no sense for me to use, sadly. Can go with a laser pistol, but yeah, Sarah's got a laser pistol. Look at that thing. It looks like a toy. It looks like a squirt gun. That's not cool looking. That gun I just picked up was cool looking. This is this looks like a toy. I'm sure someone will make an eye patch, yeah, at some point. Or maybe like a piece of cyberware or something that's actually a scanner that covers your eye. That'd be cool. Twitch puts your cam in the corner with dialogue so you don't go dark when ads pop. That's a cool idea. Yeah, I've seen that Twitch actually does the border thing too for channels that I'm not subscribed to. It'll actually shrink down your footage just a little bit, and then it'll put like a little ticker tape down, or it'll do like a border ad. So it's a little less invasive, but you know, it can still be distracting, I guess. It would be nice if YouTube did something around the same kind of thing that's it doesn't completely like block out what you're watching, but still allows them to show ads. Yeah, I'm much happier taking a cut of YouTube's ad revenue than I am, you know, making money through subscriptions and stuff. I would rather take YouTube's money than your guys' money. Especially for like a side hustle or something, just something that I'm doing to have fun and maybe make some money on. That's not gonna do it for me. Here we go.
Easy.
I remember when YouTube didn't do this to creators though. Oh, I can turn it off. The mid-roll stuff, it does give me the opportunity to turn it off. The only reason I want to try to keep it is, again, because of the algorithm. I want YouTube to promote the channel a little bit more, and they'll do that if they can make money off of it. Great Expectations? No, I had to read that in high school. I never want to see that book again in my life. Dickens is terrible. Midnight Delight. Then keep it. We can skip after 5 seconds. Okay. It's got at least 2 ads in it. When I watch anything, it's got at least 2 ads in it. Yeah, they've been increasing the frequency for sure. That's why I shelled out for premium. It's money well spent for me. I don't actually even remember how much it cost, but it's obviously not enough for me to keep track of. And I also get access to YouTube Music for my little Alexa AI machine. It's a Google Home thing.
This must have been some type of machine.
Having a YouTube Premium subscription gives me access to YouTube Music, which we can play pretty much anywhere in the house just by saying, "Hey Google, play, you know, X song or whatever," and it'll play it for us. 2 birds, 1 stone. I noticed you have a cutlass. Are there laser swords? I have not seen a laser sword. Oh, it blocked 3 ads? Okay. Cool. Well, at least they're working. And I haven't seen Magus really complain about it. If you can skip after 5 seconds, I think that's fine. If I get a lot of people complaining about it, I'll turn it off, but I'll keep it on until then. Yeah, so I have a cutlass that I don't actually ever use, but just in case. So, okay, here's a little combat tip for you. For the Orion, you actually get a pretty large magazine size, so you don't have to reload very often. But especially before you're able to put ranks into a skill to reload quicker, reloading does take quite a long time. And if you're in the middle of a battle that, 4 seconds or however long that took, you're just getting pelted and you have no defense. It is actually much quicker to change weapons. See how much quicker that was than doing a full reload? So this is going to be more useful for higher difficulty levels, right? But how I would recommend going about battle with gunfights and stuff is, completely deplete your mag here, and then instead of reloading, just switch to another gun, and that'll keep you going even faster. And then eventually you're going to run out of bullets in all your guns, so then you have a melee weapon to fall back on. So that's the only reason I have the cutlass there. I have not seen any kind of laser sword, like lightsabers or anything like that, although I feel like that's probably coming in an expansion or something. It just doesn't make any sense to have a game that's this close to Star Wars and not have lightsabers, right? Get the Wakizashi, we can be ninja buddies. Nice. Yeah, I'm going with the saber right now because of all the different effects that it has on it. It is a legendary cutlass. So the Furious effect I found to be very powerful. If you can find a melee weapon with the Furious effect, especially one that goes fast, like on a dagger or something, Furious is great. So each consecutive hit deals more damage. And then also on this, I get corrosive damage that does damage over time to armor, which helps a lot. And then, some armor ignoring effects. This is actually a great roll. This is a great melee weapon. It just doesn't do a whole lot of upfront damage, right? So this is why I'm using this. I do also have a crippling Tonto. Damage increases as health decreases. I don't like it. I've gotten a lot of melee weapons with that cornered effect on it, and it's not helpful. I feel like if you're doing a bloody build, a build that is all centered around having low health, then yeah, this is fine. This is great. But since I tried to build my builds based on higher difficulty levels, having low health is a death sentence because the enemies just do so much damage. So I'm automatically turned off of effects like this. And then the crippling thing, it seems nice, right? 30% damage on the next attack after hitting a target's limbs. That's gameplay changing, right? I feel like I could build around that if I had like a legendary weapon that was like the key effect on it. But in the heat of the moment, I'm probably not going to be targeting limbs. I'm probably just going to be trying to kill somebody as fast as possible. I'll look into the Wakizashi though. Downside to melee though, you can't add to like you can with guns at all. Yeah, that's another thing I'm hoping comes with an expansion, because that was something that you could do in Fallout 4 that you can't do in this game, was mod melee weapons, and it was awesome. I hope that's something that they add. Add serrated blades. Yeah, Fallout 3 had the same thing. Yeah, Fallout 4 does that too. You can actually add like electrical effects and fire effects to things. You could like turn a sledgehammer into a super sledgehammer by putting like rockets on it, which is awesome. I wish you could do stuff like that with the melee in this game. Melee is still good. It's viable. It's fun. I really like the animation overhauls that they did. The animations look great. Still a little wonky, but miles better than they were in Skyrim or Fallout 4. For sure. And it works a lot better too. It's not as janky. In Fallout 4, you couldn't just hold the block button like this either. You had to do a timed block, and it felt a little mushy, felt a little clunky.
Carrying enough clutter there, or should we find some more?
Boy, you got a good place for me to put it, Sarah? Huh? All right. Okay, so that's it for me. All right, guys. I think 10 minutes over my streaming window is good enough. I mean, 7 days. Yeah, so thank you all for joining. I'm having so much fun with this game. I love having a new BGS game. This is like a momentous occasion in all our lives, right, as BGS fans. Yeah, I hope you learned something, had some fun at least. I'm trying to share my tips and my knowledge with you. Maybe you found something you didn't know so much. I'm only 70 hours into the game. Somebody like Magus, who already has like 150 hours in the game, has been playing the game a lot more than I have. Maybe you didn't learn as much, but yeah, that's part of the fun of a new game, is us all getting together and sharing our experiences with it, right? Keep doing Starfield, please. Yes, I will. And as I feel like going back to Skyrim, I still have a lot of juice there. It is addictive, I think. Yep. Okay, great. Thanks, guys. If you like this content, do go check out Magus has a Twitch channel. He's been streaming a lot of Starfield on his channel over there. The link is in the description below. I don't know if the Wind has been streaming Starfield. I actually haven't seen you stream in a while. But she does have a Twitch stream as well. I think she's getting back on the horse here soon, I hope. But do leave those guys a follow. They're a lot of fun to join for streams as well. Life got oh yeah. How's your kid feeling, by the way? Is he feeling better with the ankle? Have you gotten any results back from the scans yet? I hope he's feeling better anyway. Who else? I don't think I've seen anybody else in the... Oh yeah, Mr. B dropped in earlier. He does have a Twitch stream and a YouTube channel. Do check him out as well. Better, nothing broke. That's good. That's good. Though his ankle looks nasty though. Yeah, I bet. Tendon damage can be its own bit of awful. I know from experience. I've sprained ankles plenty of times, and it's no fun. It's better than, you know, having a break and having maybe permanent damage on it, but the healing process is not fun. I haven't been watching on Twitch. The extra features on Twitch are kind of distracting for new game. Trying to watch and learn. I've only been watching a couple of series on YouTube. Oh, nice. Yeah. Well, I hope I hope this was helpful for you, Gail. All right, that's it for me. You guys have a great weekend, okay? I'll see you around all the usual places. Twitch, Discord, YouTube, all the good stuff. And that's it for me. Bye, guys. See you.